All right, guys, let's take a look at how to change a mixed number back into the improper fraction. So remember, a mixed number is a whole number and a fraction put together. And we want to be able to convert that back to an improper fraction. And that's where the numerator is bigger than the denominator. So we're going to use pictures. That's our strategy for this first one. And it's very simple. We've been doing pictures all along through fractions. I need to draw two whole. I'm going to draw pizzas, two whole pizzas. I also need to draw another pizza for that 1/4. It's kind of like the leftover or the extra here. So I have two whole pizzas and 1/4. I need to cut these into slices, and I know how many slices I need to cut it into based on the denominator. So all these pizzas need to be cut into 4 slices, because as with all of our fraction pictures we did, all those fraction cards, the denominator tells us how many pieces we cut it into. Like, how many am I going to color in? That's the numerator, but this is tricky because it's got a whole number and a numerator. Well, the whole number is telling me to color in 2 whole pizzas. So there's 1 whole pizza and there's 2 whole pizzas. The fraction, see, here's my whole number right here. These 2 are colored in. The fraction, now I look at the numerator to see what I need to color in. I need to color in 1 slice out of 4. So I'm going to come over and color that in. So now I've got 2 whole and 1/4 shown as a picture. To switch that into an improper fraction, all I need to do is count up how many pieces I've had. So let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I had to color in 9 slices, and each piece was cut into 4. So you'll see the denominator stays the same. You're going to hear that a lot from me over the next couple videos. The denominator stays the same, but the numerator, all I did was count up how many slices. So really, 2 and 1/4 is equivalent to 9/4, and you can see based on my picture. Please draw a picture to help you change that mix to an improper. Let's take a look at another strategy you could use. Same problem, 2 and 1/4, but now instead of a picture, because it does take a little bit of time to draw the picture, I'm going to decompose that number. I'm going to break that down into pieces. And all I need to do is think about 2 whole. Well, I can make 1 whole and 1 whole out of 2 because 1 plus 1 is 2 whole. But I want to do them as fractions. I want to do 1 whole as a fraction because I want to break it into that improper fraction. And how do I know what whole fraction I pull out? It's all on that denominator. So if the denominator is 4, so I'm going to keep it the same all the way through. What does the numerator have to be in order to make that 1 whole? It's got to be 4/4. So all I did was break 2 whole down into 1 whole, but as a fraction. So 4/4 is 1 whole, and 4/4 is 1 whole, and 4 plus 4 is 8/4. So far we've got 1 and 1 makes 2. And now if we add our last 1/4, and we just go ahead and put all those fractions together, you're going to see adding fractions is very, very simple. I keep my denominator the same. Sorry about that, 4. I keep my denominator the same, and I simply add my numerator. 4 plus 4 is 8, plus 1 more is 9. So 2 and 1/4 is equivalent to 9/4. I decomposed that 2 whole into 1 whole, but I wrote those 1 as fractions. And then I added that 1/4. That's kind of like my leftover pieces. I put them all together and I get 9/4. Pictures is a strategy. Decomposing is a strategy. Or decomposing it. Lots of good options, guys. Check out this next one. I think this is the one you're going to like the best because it's a little bit quicker. If you want to do 2 and 1/4, you can multiply and add. And I'll show you what I mean by that. When we do fractions, we know that's division. We're dividing it. But if I want to flip that back, See, it's a whole number. I want to flip it back into a fraction. I've got to do the opposite of dividing, which is multiply. And I spelled that wrong. Multiply. So what I'm going to do is multiply my whole number times my denominator. I'm going to do 2 times 4. And I know 2 times 4 is 8. And my next step is to add my numerator. And I know 8 plus 1 is 9. My equivalent improper fraction has a numerator of 9, and a denominator always stays the same. I quickly just flipped my my mixed number into an improper by multiplying whole number times denominator plus numerator. And I'm going to show you how or why that works. I'm going to go back to that picture slide to show you how that works here. In fact, I'll just draw the pictures on here. When I decomposed this 2 whole, I had to make 2 whole pizzas. That's my 2 whole. And I had to cut them into 4 slices. And then I had to color all those in. Well, instead of dividing that into pieces, I'm doing the opposite. I'm multiplying. How many slices in 2 whole pizzas? 8. 2 times 4 is 8. That's how I got my first piece. Then to get my last one, to finish off with that picture, I just had to draw that 1/4 piece right here. So here's my 2 whole, here's my 1/4. I have 8 slices here and 1 more slice here. That's my plus 1. That's my numerator. And that's how I got my 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 whole. And my denominator stays fourths because they're all cut into 4 pieces. The drawing takes a while, but this is really quick. I want to practice a couple of these shortcuts here so you can see those. So let's grab one of those. I'm going to go right to this one right here. So let's try that shortcut. It makes it so much quicker, so much easier. I'm going to multiply first. Multiply 5 times 8, and 5 times 8 is 40. And I'm going to add 2 more, which makes 42. So multiply the whole number times the denominator, add the numerator. And that gives me a numerator of 42. And of course, that denominator, we've been talking about this, it's going to stay the same. Much, much quicker way to take a mixed number into an improper fraction. If I were to draw a picture of this, I would have had to have drawn 5 pizzas. I would cut each pizza into 8 slices, color them all in. I'd have 40 slices, and I would add 2 more for my 2 eighths. So shortcut instead of having to do all the drawing and all the decomposing. Let's take one more look at this shortcut here. If I multiply and add, I do 9 times 10, which is 90, and I add 7 more, which makes 97 tenths. You are welcome to use any strategy you want. I know a lot of kids are like this one because it's so quick, but don't forget you can